Okay, I've got nothing for today's theme song. So anyway, this is the Willroar Newsance show, still with no theme.
No opening intro song.
It will happen someday.
Someday.
Over the rainbow. Through the trees.
through the
so, we've, on a second podcast. Whoa, second anniversary. The second podcast.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think so.
Okay.
If we believe it, it can work that way.
If we believe in ourselves.
Yes. So, since I went first last week, Newsance, what have you been up to this week?
I actually haven't been up to much, but I do have a pseudo story that relates to what we were going to review today, which is Amnesia, The Dark Descent, because Amnesia Machine for Pigs came out. So, to review it, Will has never played it before. He's just been told, like, yeah, this is a great game for you because you like this kind of stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. And, like, he hadn't had a whole lot of, like, experience.
There's a lot of games like that. Like, I know I should play and I know I would love, I just haven't gotten. Walking Dead is still installed on my computer for over a year and I haven't played it.
Oh, well, you should probably do that eventually.
I know. It happens, okay? Things just happen.
Yeah.
But you
I understand.
Go on with this
Anyways,
story.
So, first off, when he got into the game, he was like, oh! And I was like, wait, what? What's going on? He's like, oh, I thought it was a point-and-click adventure game. Which I just found so funny, because now he's going to get the willies scared out of him even more.
Whatever.
Great. Anyways, so
Whatever.
later in this first little level area, there's this little, like, I don't want to say cul-de-sac. This room.
It's like a study room.
Yeah, it's like a study, something like that. But there's this big hole in the, like, roof, and you can kind of see through it, and it looks like there's a big room above you. And Will was like, oh, I want to see what's up there. Is this the way to go? Because he, like, couldn't find how to get out of this one area because it's partially a puzzle game, if you didn't already know. And he didn't find, like, it was like this lever thing in one of the rooms, and it was dark, and apparently he passed over it because...
Still bullshit. Still bullshit. I don't believe it was there.
It was... I think it was there. But... So he's like, oh, how do I get up here, though? And so he starts taking every single box he can find in this area that he's locked in. Every single one, and just stacking them. Literally, there's, like, a stack of 10 boxes going up through this hole. And he's, like, trying to jump to see if he could see anything. Like, oh, this is definitely an Easter egg.
But it was working. To be fair, it was so working. Because, you see... At one point, my head was, like, in the hole, and if I had just jumped, I would have seen. So it was working. It is possible to do. Just really, really, really hard.
Anyways, so you can just see him spending all this time, like, stacking these boxes. It's taking forever. I'm like, this isn't the way to go. And he's like, shut up! I'm trying to find this thing that no one's ever found before. Blah 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 blah. And he's just so obsessed with, like, looking up there. Of course, I already knew what it was. It was just a skybox.
You didn't know that. That was just likely.
It was likely. Fine. It was likely, but it was still in the back of my brain. I'm like, this is probably a skybox, which is just a fancy way of making it look like an image is actually, like, a sky, like, you know, like a thing, making an image look 3D, but in a way that it's, like, above your head, kind of like the sky. It's a weird thing. But so I was like, I'm pretty sure it's that. I didn't tell him, though. And so he kept stacking these boxes, and you can see, like, eventually, like, this stack of boxes is starting to lean to one side, and it's not falling yet. It's just leaning.
It's slow motion falling.
Yeah, and so he, like, looks away and he grabs another box and he comes back and it's leaning just, like, a little bit further.
It was literally like
I mean, noticeably, but not like
It got to like
Yeah.
a 50 or 60 degree
I want to
angle.
say, yeah, like it was pretty, yeah, and then it just falls. It fell twice. It was like, it was funny because he said something like, you know,
okay. When I noticed that it was leaning, I said, no, it's okay. I just have a time limit now.
Yeah,
I
and then
pick up the box, turn back, and it falls
then it
down.
falls over. I'm like, yeah, like a 5-second time limit. Like, it was really funny, and just watching him play Amnesia in general was just a funny experience. Because
No, you're missing out the best part.
oh,
You see, I raged.
oh right,
after the
yes,
second falling.
So yeah, after the second time, it's my story. I get to tell it.
Okay.
After the second time that the boxes fell, he was just like, F this. He literally closes out of Amnesia, goes to the Interbuts, downloads the Amnesia map editor, which is a free thing, but still, he brings in the map, like the actual map that he was in, and he brings it into the editor, and he's spending all this time just trying to figure out how to use this editor to try and see if he can get like in the room and then look up and see what's going on. Because when you look down on it, it doesn't look like there's anything because it's just like rooms, and it was so funny. And then
what was up there?
nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Because I already told him that. He just didn't listen.
So
your story for this week.
I've had.
You gave me like a little bit of a preview. I understand the overlaying situation of where it was and what you were doing. I just didn't get the actual part that's shocking or
I had
funny
an
or scary.
adventure at my college. You see, what I was up to is I haven't been able to find my headphones in a while, so I finally said, you know what, screw it. I'll just go to the college store and pick up some headphones. And I only like a very specific kind of headphone, because buds don't stay in my ear, and having those massive, like, overhead things, like, they can be cool, but, like, they annoy my neck after a while, and it's just like, they're just big and obtrusive.
He just insulted my entire being with that last statement.
Whatever, Newsance. No. So
gotta have my headphones.
There's these
bro.
specific headphones that, like, it's like a bud, but there's this metal piece that'll, like, wrap over your ear. It's like an upside down U with a butthead one.
Yeah.
And I like those. Those work. They're perfect for me. And I was going all around trying to find them, but I couldn't, except for one kind.
One kind.
They only had one version of this, and it was like some cross or cost band, but that's not what was depressing in the moment. It's that they were like for women only, designed by and for women, and they came in all these really like bright, like girly colors. That was the only form they had of them.
Oh man.
So after going all around the store, I decided to suck up my dignity, and I picked up the like pinkish color of them.
Yep.
And
He's gonna make the argument that he was colorblind, but
no, because that would be lying.
uh-huh.
Sadly, I'm not. So just I took it. I'm going for it. I go up to the front counter to buy them, and the clerk like gives me a look, like looks down at them, looks up at me, waits a minute. There's this awkward silence, and I'm not saying anything. She says, what are you paying with? I'm like, okay, whatever, card. Just like, whatever, she's judging me. She's a judger.
She judges
whatever. Things. Screw her. So,
not like Dredd, but get it.
Definitely not like Dredd.
Get
so
it.
Anyways, so as and this is, I guess, not quite the too exciting of a climax to the story, but something that horrifies me.
Right.
And horrifies me to this day is when she reached down to pick it up to scan it. You see, what was on it? She was one of these women who like really long fingernails, like obsessively long. Except now most will get like the fake ones, you know. But I could tell these weren't fake, which was the scary part. Like,
that's even worse. Yeah,
these were like at least over 4 inches, and I could tell because specifically the middle finger nail curled around. Okay? Like, what is it called in a roller coaster when it's not a loop, when it's like doing that like
corkscrew?
Her nail corkscrew. Really.
No!
A natural nail was corkscrewing. No! It was like over 4 inches. It was horrifying.
I have a ruler somewhere here. Let me see. 4. Okay, I don't have a ruler. I thought I had a ruler.
Okay, maybe it was 3 or 4. It was long.
4 inches
it was like,
is like freaking.
Okay, so it was probably like 3. Okay.
Like that?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
about 2 inches.
What, dude? That's still really long for nails. Still horrifying.
Yeah, but 4 inches is like, oh my gosh.
Okay. So whatever. So this point is, so I was horrified by this lady who's judging me. I was afraid she was like gonna like become a slasher villain and kill me with her corkscrew nail. Right there in the middle of the store. But
right
it didn't happen because I'm standing here talking, or sitting more correctly. So that was most exciting, was my encounter with the corkscrew lady.
That sounds like a fantastic adventure. It sounds like a supervillain, corkscrew lady.
It's right. Like this is like the first
open
encounter.
Wine bottles. I'm going to. Your wine will never age again. Oh gosh. Or she just does corkscrews like Samus corkscrews just on everyone. That's all she does.
And like she flips people off with her corkscrew middle finger as she does so.
She twirls her hands around when she does so. She's like. I'm sorry.
We lead very interesting lives here.
It's very early. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you do. My report was from something that we're going to be talking about later anyway, so.
Whatever.
I got to give a speech today. That's right. It's morning, guys, and yeah. Woo!
So.
Forgot about that.
We're going to have to get on the news soon, but.
The news.
Before, we need a music break.
We do need a music break, and you went first last time.
Exactly, which is why I'm pointing my hand towards you.
Selfish son of a biscuit. Okay, so my song that I'm going to be playing today, I'm a very big fan of EDM, so electronic and dubstep and house and all that good stuff. But I also enjoy me some other genres. I'm not like one of those genre-specific people. So I was looking through the electronic section, and I found this song. I don't know why it's electronic. Like, I have no idea, because there's nothing wub-wub about it or anything. It's purely piano and a guy singing, which that stuff I love, especially with this guy's voice. It's just fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's To Build a Home. It's the Cinematic Orchestra featuring Patrick Watson. It's very, very beautiful song. I really enjoy it. So here you go. Have fun. We'll be back with some news.
The news.
Bye-bye.
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel this is a place where I feel at home. tree as old as me. Branches were sold by the color of green. The ground had rose and past its knees. By the cracks of his skin I climbed to the top. I climbed the tree to see the world. When the gusts came around to blow me down, held on as tightly as you held on to me. Held on as tightly as you held on to me.
We're back.
Hello.
We're back with the news.
The news. I hope you guys didn't fall asleep. That's a song that I could probably fall asleep to. Not because it's boring, just because it's like so like lulling.
I won't fall asleep during my song this week.
Oh, fun.
So anywho, as you may have noticed, things happened in the world in the past week.
We're gonna ignore it completely.
Because we here, as unproductive members of society, only discuss the really important stuff. Like, is Call of Duty still in the realm of plausibility?
Was it to begin with?
No. No, it was not.
Okay.
Maybe you could make the most half-assed argument ever for the first Modern Warfare, but you're wrong. Because,
okay,
you see, the new trailer for Call of Duty Ghosts, the first real like single-player trailer, came out to give insights at the campaign.
Naturally. Oh, you mean that thing that nobody cares about?
I wish nobody cared about Call of Duty. My life would be so much better.
I meant the campaign of Call of Duty. Like, the Call of Duty campaign, like that thing that nobody cares about.
True, but they still care about it. Actually, there's some people. But it's fun to talk about, especially how insane they are. Because, see, the opening of the trailer starts with these astronauts coming out of a space station. And now, like, this isn't like sci-fi. This looks like decently modern astronaut equipment. Like, it's a little in the future, but it's still, like, big, bulky suits, moving slow, like, This is not that sci-fi. And they come out, and they pull out guns. Like, machine guns in space, and start fighting this other group of astronauts on a space station.
What?
Now, I will admit, I don't quite know how a gun would work in space.
It would...
I mean...
I'm bringing all my physics and space knowledge into this, because I do have some of that. I'm thinking, like how was it? Like, were they being pushed back at all when they were firing?
No. They would like take position and fire, and like the fire would like expand out a minute, but like the bullets were discharging straight ahead, and they look pretty fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't seen the trailer, so I wouldn't know. But like, unless they're like against something that's really big, like pressed up against something that's really
no,
big.
they're crouching behind a chest-high wall.
But we're talking like in space, like, I don't. They would be pushed back because it's in space. So there's no like.
Also, now when you like kind of like when like if you make a hop up, you wouldn't come back down on a space station, right? I mean,
unless the space station has any form of artificial gravity.
Even on the outside, that could happen.
Oh, on the outside, no.
They're outside the space station fighting.
No.
And like it kind of looks like moon physics, where like they're like
breaking physics.
Where like they're hopping over and
broken physics. I'm sorry, I apologize.
But yeah, so and also like even beyond whether the gun would work or whether they could stand, would you really be launching hundreds of bullets around a space station, any which could pierce it?
Is it an abandoned space station?
It doesn't give that much story, but they did come out of it, so I would assume not.
Okay, well, yeah. In that case, no, you shouldn't be shooting around the space station. Unless, like, one of them's like, we're gonna destroy the space station, and the other people are like, no, you're not.
Well, I think that's what's happening, but still,
well,
like, if you have guns that can shoot like that, why wouldn't... Anyways, let's not break down the entire trailer, because that would take a really long time. Because, you see, the point is, Activision disagrees. Call of Duty still plays in the realm of plausibility, according to Activision community manager Dan Amrich. I have no idea how to pronounce your last name, but it's Amrich now.
Amrich.
Writing on his blog, Amrich explained that the latest trailer for Call of Duty Ghosts, which featured combat in space, is actually more science than science fiction. Which, I mean, I guess it looks more like modern astronauts, so that's something. Amrich said the concept of kinetic bombardment, or rods from God, that's a link, I have no idea what that means, has been used in sci-fi stories for years. True. Okay. It is also grounded in reality. He pointed out that the United States Air Force has considered using the technology as a means to attack without nuclear fallout. I'm really confused right now. Kinetic bombardment? Maybe they're special kinetic guns?
No, kinetic bombard. It wouldn't be like they're not shooting guns from space. Like, whatever they were on is the weapon they're talking about. Like, the space station they're on is the quote-unquote weapon.
So say what you will about its over-the-top gameplay and action movie attitude, but Call of Duty still plays in the realm of plausibility, Amrich said. In the new campaign trailer for Call of Duty Ghost, a cylinder is shown speeding, Oh, wow, so when he decided to address the things people were freaking out about in the trailer, he decided to go about the big metal rod speeding from out of orbit onto Earth, not the gun combat on the space station.
Yeah.
So, points to Activision for missing the point.
Missing the point.
You are just a bundle of fun.
What happened to Activision?
A lot.
Like, what happened with you? Goodness. I remember PlayStation 1, that Spider-Man game.
Oh my god.
That was the best thing.
I have not thought about that game since I was a small child.
I had to sell it because I needed money. It was I love that game.
I think I just
That game was
lost mine.
awesome. I unlocked like every single costume you could get, and just like the whole, like all the mechanics in that game were perfect, pretty much. I mean, for a PlayStation 1 game. And it was Activision. I remember that. It was awesome. And then like the Tony Hawk games, which was another PlayStation 1 thing, that was great. So many great memories from Activision, and now you're like, we're gonna shoot things in space? Yeah.
I like to think at the like the Activision like board, like making the big decisions, they all talk like that.
It's like, so we're going to we're gonna have astronauts, but they're gonna be like fighting, and then there's gonna be like gravity in space. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yes. Well.
So that is the Call of Duty news that you didn't care about and probably still don't.
Nope.
But it was for the lulz. But Newsance, what do you have?
All right. So being music news is kind of hard to find something that's not more centered on the musicians themselves. If you get what I'm saying, like,
yeah,
and something that's interesting or like, you know, funny to talk about. So here's one that I'm still perplexed about what happened here. But in this news thing, Elton John states that he is like Lindsay Lohan. That's the opening. That's like the title.
I'm assuming there's context to that statement.
There's none. That is just the title of the news, and there's no actual content in the news. It's just that's what I'm getting.
Go on.
Okay. Anyway, this article states Elton John believes he has led a similar career to Lindsay Lohan. Just think about that for a second.
But I haven't seen his boobs.
Oh, gosh. Neither have I, and I am thankful for that. But Elton John, despite the 66-year-old being a musician and the 27-year-old Mean Girls star and actress, he thinks they have both been troubled.
Well, I mean,
I'm not.
I guess so. Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, Elton's trouble was the few people who didn't like him complaining about him being gay. Lindsay Lohan went through like drugs and
I wouldn't put down like minimize his problems that much.
I mean,
the guy went through some serious hell, but like I would agree it's still kind of like you
maybe I don't know everything that happened.
Well,
to
keep
Elton
reading
John.
the article. Let's find out.
Okay, so his first album, from what I read here, it doesn't seem as serious, at least. So it says his first album in 7 years and 30th in total, named The Diving Board, is released this month, and the star revealed the meaning behind the title tune, The Diving Board, which apparently relates to Lindsay Lohan somehow. Lindsay Lohan's this is a quote from Elton John. Lindsay Lohan's extremely talented and had great success at the beginning of her career, but she's become a victim of the amount of presence you get by being a personality, he told British newspaper The Sun. You could say the same about me. For the first 5 or 6 years of my career, it was all about the glasses and the music.
So you mean Elton John's life can be compared to like 80% of all working artists of who have ever gotten famous?
Yeah.
That's it. That's his great connection.
Like,
I can look up a lot of people like that.
Becoming a victim of the amount of presence. But like, I'm still confused on where he's a victim. Like, I don't know. Like,
okay, dude. Like, fame comes with an incredible amount of press and dealing, and a lot of people don't deal with that stress.
But
most people can't deal with that stress well.
Right.
It's an incredible amount of stuff like celebrities have to go through. Like, mentally.
I mean, there's that. Yeah, I know that. But Lindsay Lohan just she went off the deep end, though, is the thing what I'm saying. Like, and that's why the comparison for me is just not really there, because it's like I'm not sure exactly what happened with Elton John, but from what I've read here and from what I've heard, he didn't have like the worst of times being an artist.
I know. He didn't destroy his career. He still has a career. But I think his point is just saying is that, like, I guess neither of them dealt with the stress well in the beginning, except obviously Elton recovered and Lindsay Lohan became Lindsay Lohan.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like...
I'm not defending it as a good comparison. I'm saying I see his logic. But I'm saying you could do the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. pre-Iron Man.
True. I mean, yeah.
Except
he had a lot of...
He had even a lot more worse stuff. I don't know what I would compare Elton John specifically to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, he seems like one of those stars where he's like, naturally under pressure because you're famous.
Yeah, but he never.
But like nothing like nothing like, or not even just career, like himself, like nothing, as far as I know. And I mean, just nothing like majorly happened in terms of damaging himself. So it was this is kind of a weird comparison. So article continues, says Lindsay emerged from a 90-day sting in rehab this summer after landing herself in trouble with the law several times and admitting to drug use. Again, I guess. Having endured a turbulent relationship with DJ Samantha Ronson, she is said to have cut herself off from her bad group of friends. Meanwhile, Elton John has settled down with David Furnish, and they have 2 kids together. I guess
Elton John got rid of his bad friends. Is that what's being
I have no idea I guess I didn't know he had bad friends.
I guess if you're in the entertainment business, you're always gonna have some bad ones.
I thought he just had like a tiny dancer and a rocket man.
No sense.
I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. So, or just comparing that they're both homosexual, I guess? I don't know what that's about.
No, I think it's good. They both went through bad times and now they're with good people now.
Okay. All right.
I
was like, I'm not sure what the purpose of that one was, but okay. So it continues with him saying, I've had a long career, so other things came into it, like my sexuality, collecting flowers, drugs. Oh, he was his drugs. Okay.
It's Elton John.
Well, I
don't think it ever got as bad as Lindsay Lohan, but still, it's Elton John. Come on, man. Come on.
All right, okay, fine.
You know deep down.
I guess when you do a cover of Yellow Brick Road, you have to try drugs at some point.
Yes, that is the requirement. Go on.
As for Lindsay, very quickly into her career, she became a victim of drugs, and all the worst things in the world happened to her, he observed. The Diving Board is a song about the dangers of fame and how fame is far more dangerous than in the old days when there wasn't the internet, there wasn't Facebook, there were no camera phones, there wasn't tweeting. Thank God, I would have hated that.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
So,
oh man,
Elton John is trying to complain about being back in my day was so much better by making a comparison to a. Yeah.
This article was just really weird. A lot of it was just like, what? Like, I don't know. But I guess I could see some more of it now. So thank you for walking with me through that personal experience
of Elton John being crazy.
John's, craziness.
Well, I have more people to make fun of because of an interview.
What?
You see, there's Oh, and let me make sure I'm getting the exact name right, because there's a couple names on here and they're all foreign, which I do badly with. Okay, so you see, the design director of Final Fantasy 13, Yuji Aba. I'm gonna really hope that that's correct. Yuji Aba.
I'm gonna look this up.
Well, it's spelled like Yuji Abe, but I'm assuming Aba because it's like
Yuji
Asian.
Abe.
So, there's been some questioning about the for Lightning Returns, about the clothing, about the outfits that they're including in the game. Many of them, I guess, to put it lightly, deeply sexual. Like, one of the outfits you can put on Lightning adds cat ears, a mini skirt, and a tube top. That's about it.
I'm looking this up so I can find a picture. Oh, it's not in that one. Okay. Oh, there's a picture.
Yeah,
And that's the position they chose.
Breasts apparently end up wider than her head. So, you see, this is just, and that's squeezed together by the tube top. So imagine they're flowing free. Anyways.
No, thank you.
Anyways, so there's been questioning, like, why? And, and
naturally.
And an even better question is, why?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's a good question.
He had a reply. An interesting reply.
Is he a furry?
No. You see,
okay.
He says in the video interview, before we started designing the outfits for Lightning, we took an internal questionnaire to find out how Lightning is perceived by our team members. It gets better.
Gosh.
Explain, Abasan. We picked up some key words, important words. Our team picked on them and started creating outfits. We wanted to give Lightning outfits that not only made her look really cool, but also something with some depth. I would love to see the thematic analysis of the tube top.
Oh my gosh.
Going on.
Okay, so they already have this list of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 garbs.
Oh, I'm sure they're ridiculous. The quote's not over.
No.
The quote's not
okay,
over.
fine. Keep going. I'm sorry.
One of our team members said that she should be dressed like a male ballet dancer. That was the team's decision. It gets better. But what were you gonna say before I was lay down the final sledgehammer?
They have this list of all the Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 stuff, and one of them you can literally dress her up like Cloud.
I mean that's like standard issue at this point, because everyone still has a heart on for Final Fantasy 7.
No.
Dude, that's been around.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like, whatever.
All right, fine.
There's a much better sledgehammer coming than your precious little innocence regarding Final Fantasy culture.
Okay, keep going as well with that.
So he continues explaining, he says, my personal take on it is that in Western world, most people have quite blessed body shape. They're tall, nice long legs, whatever you put on, you look great. But in Japan, a lot of people have an inferiority complex. Put on white t-shirt and jeans and not everyone would look great. Most Japanese people have a strong desire to see their characters looking great, fashionable. That desire should be embodied in the creation of the protagonist that they would be playing. That motivates us to make a stylized character. So, Japan, your developer is saying you all have low self-esteem and are probably ugly and need over-sexualized characters to relate to your video games.
Wow.
That is what was just said by this design director working on one of the most popular franchises in the history of gaming. That is his insight.
That's so messed up.
So, apparently these outfits, there's depth, and they also are just cheap.
Right.
Like, grotesque, just pandering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong here, am I?
No, you're not.
Something?
No, you're not. You're not. You're fine.
There's a reason why I don't have a good relationship with Japanese games.
Apparently, yeah. Well, here's a description that's in this list of all the outfits, and it says, for that outfit, which is called the Mikote, I want to say Mikote outfit. Anyways, it's a garb meant to promote Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, apparently, as well as what you said. And it says, styled after the starting clothes of a female Mikote, which is apparently one of the races you can play, and they're like these cat people, like...
Oh, is that what I was looking at?
Furries, yeah. And it says, a cute and adorable costume featuring a mini skirt, cat ears, and a tail. After taking down the enemy, lightning will also blow away the player by striking the Mikote's distinctive sexy pose.
Why do people defend these games so much? Why am why am I an asshole for pointing out this stuff?
You're not.
Why?
You're not.
Why have I spent so much of my life trying to explain why there's not much artistic integrity in a lot of these games?
It's not you. You are in the right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy, no.
So, before I get too deep into that rant nuisance, do you have another story for us?
I don't. I have browsed the interbuts.
Well, I have another story's backup, because somebody didn't do the research enough.
I thought we were just doing like one story per thing, but it's fine. It's fine. You can go ahead.
We said to have 2 or 3.
Oh.
Yeah! Willroar comes in to save the day! So,
okay, alright, yeah, keep going
Batman
with
and
your
Captain
stuff.
America rescue a cat from burning building.
Oh my gosh. Read this immediately.
A former firefighter dressed as Batman pulled a cat from a burning building and gave it mouth-to-mouth... how do you pronounce
it? Gave the cat mouth to mouth?
Yes. Because it wasn't breathing. So, moving on.
Okay.
In a scene that could have come straight from a mellow Marvel DC crossover, Batman and Captain America reportedly saved a cat from a house fire yesterday in Milton, West Virginia. The duo, in this case played by John Buckland, Batman, and Tony Markham, Captain America, were attending an event for Buckland's business Heroes for Hire, which uses superheroes to help teach children positive life lessons. This is like the greatest story ever.
These guys are my heroes. Not even Batman's Captain America. These two guys. They're awesome.
Seeing smoke coming from a nearby house, Buckland, a former firefighter and soldier, charged to the house with Markham in tow. Upon arriving at the burning building, the duo entered and broke a window to help vacate the smoke. The two found the house empty, save for a single occupant, the family cat.
Oh my gosh.
Buckland described what happened next. The smoke lets out and I can start to see. I reach down and grab something furry.
Mm-hmm.
Buckland evacuated the cat and, finding it unconscious, began performing mouth to mouth. The cat eventually came to and was apparently not pleased to see the dark night. The cat looks up at me, then hissed. Firefighters arrived shortly after to deal with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, and then the article goes on to congratulate them for being the greatest human beings in the universe currently. As they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, I mean... Would you do that, Nuisance? If you were just happened to be wearing like a Spider-Man costume, would you see a burning building and say, I'm just gonna break a window and just run in and see if there's anyone in there? Would you do that? Because I wouldn't.
Well, you're a selfish bastard.
Because I'm scared and I'm a bit of a pussy, that's why.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to pretend like I'm some brave, valiant hero. I'm not. I wish I was.
If I'm dressed in a Spider-Man costume, maybe I would.
Maybe.
If I was just in a Batman costume, then definitely. But Spider-Man,
Oh,
maybe.
so
It depends on the costume.
the costume depends.
Yes.
Well, I think on that.
If I was just like the Joker, I'd pour like more alcohol on it or something.
So I think we've learned a lot about Newsance today. And before we learn any more,
multiple
before we
personality
learn any more
disorder.
about Newsance, I think we're done with the news today.
My personality is dependent on what I'm wearing.
Is that why you wear button-ups all the time? Does that like help you not be deranged?
It helps me be classy.
So next time, well, no, not
next time. We still have a review to do.
Next time, in the next 5 minutes or
yes,
so,
or however long this stupid song is.
we are going to be reviewing Amnesia, the Dark Descent. Ignore that pause there.
I'll fill it in with like some weird sound, like Amnesia,
Anyways,
Dark Descent.
To enjoy during the music break. I'm not.
I will enjoy you.
I'm going to play a little track from a Norwegian singer named Annie, who I've recently fallen in love with.
Yes,
deeply in love with. To probably dangerous degrees. Amazing singer. Very strange because this is like back when she first started, when she was like really like electro type pop. Except her new album that came out this year, like her first album in forever, all pretty serious, like kind of mellow acoustic.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big change.
Not sure what happened there, especially with like singles that came out last year that were still the electro pop thing.
Right, just doing what she wants,
which is awesome. But anyway, so I'm gonna go back to her earlier days, her Animal album.
Get it? It's a pun.
And I'm going to play Helpless Fool for Love, one of my favorites currently.
That sounds like something like
Shut up, it's
Gwen
great.
Stefani would do back in the
Shut
90s
up.
with like puns in the album name with her in it. Yeah, anyways, go ahead.
The song is just, it is a fantastic little sweet, crazy, awesome poppy song with amazing rhythm. Rhythm I haven't heard, the likes of which not even God has ever seen. Point to whoever gets the reference. Anyways, enjoy.
Wait, hey, Will, what's the title of the song?
Helpless Fool for Love.
Oh.
I said that. And now you ruined my great outro.
I'll edit this out.
No, you won't.
You're right.
Exactly. Now enjoy the song. You better.
Ding!
It was a rainy day in May or June. I couldn't help it, God, you look so fine. I just had to make you mine, oh mine. Well, I'm a helpless fool for love. Instantly, I cannot eat, nor sleep, nor hard to breathe. You read my love so easy, ABC. Twist my mind around and 1, 2, 3. Then I'm a helpless fool for love. When he walks, when he talks, when he moves,
welcome back.
Hello, Dan.
Why are you talking like that?
Why are you talking like that?
Because we're talking about a very serious game.
I'm not.
What are you talking about?
Amnesia.
It's not a very serious game.
Well, I mean, it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a problem with my wit. It is 11 a.m., which is early for me.
It's early for me.
So...
Especially on a Thursday when I have classes at 3. I usually sleep in.
Yeah, so, anyways, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, the first time I've ever played it.
And the first time I've ever watched somebody play it in front of my face.
Which was an experience.
It was an experience for both of us. He was screaming in terror and I was laughing.
I only really screamed that 1 or 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, there's the end where you're just like... It was less him like horrified and just him seeing how many times he can say the F word in about 30 seconds.
I was so stressed and angry, like every bone was hurting. I was just like, come on, get on with it. Because I was expecting for the monster to be there waiting to kill me. I was like, come on. I was just so I was just stressed and everything hurt in my body. I just needed to yell. It was the only way I could talk.
Yep.
I was scared, but not like terrified, just like scared because I
stressed out,
knew what was coming, except it never came.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think about that sentence too long. Anyways, so I can say, even though I still haven't completed Amnesia: The Dark Descent, I'm working on it still.
Yes,
but I can thoroughly say it is one of the best horror games I've just never played. I mean, like, there's not a really great history of horror games in gaming. Like,
no, there's not.
There's not. And if anybody says Resident Evil
or Dead Space,
the first Dead Space at least kind of really tried.
Yeah,
tried.
It tried.
Tried to be horror.
Yeah.
It was, but it tried. I mean, it's just, to me, like, they're still really like the Silent Hill games, the early Silent Hill games, 1, 2, and 3, 2 and 3 specifically. I even like 4, because I'm that bloke.
Whoa.
I'm that one everyone hates.
That guy?
I even kind of appreciate Homecoming, even though it failed.
Whoa.
It failed at what it failed, but I really appreciate what they were... There was a great idea in there. It just got failed. It just got messed up in the execution.
Gotcha.
So... I'm that kind of horror fan, big Silent Hill guy. So of course, a horror game where you can't fight anything, where you are a weakling running in terror constantly, that's like my bread and butter, and that's like all Amnesia is.
Next to no UI at all.
Yeah, which was actually quite nice. I really wasn't expecting that. I do like how they kind of like the sanity and the health, how like it's just descriptions of how you're feeling, not like you have this much sand, yeah, this much. No, it's like if I scroll over the sand, he says you have a massive headache and your hands are shaking. It can't get worse, of course.
Stuff like that.
That is how you do immersion. That is fantastic. That's actually one of the things I really loved about Dead Space. The one thing I still love about that series is that their UI is completely in-game. It is all in-world.
Right.
And that's how this should be done. But, I mean, of course, I love this game. I'm going to go on and on about it. But what does Newsance think?
I have to agree with you almost on everything you said. Like, it's very...
We need to stop agreeing on everything.
We need to stop. It's great to watch people play this game, because just to see how they react, because it's not like how people would react to other games, because of what you said. You're just like stressing out more so than just like a bunch of jump scares like it would be in most other horror games. And it's just like it's less like just like, oh gosh, that's really creepy, or oh gosh, it jumped out at me. It's like, where's the thing that's coming? And it's like building up, and the audio, the sound engineering in this game is fantastic. Like, just like this like kind of like these low tones, kind of like repeating,
extremely low frequencies that just have a little bit of texture
and it's just
to
like,
them.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a person, but I mean, it just sounds like this, just like low, like humming that kind of like.
It's like.
And it's not like loud. It's just
like a bass, like just like a really little like sine wave being played.
Yeah.
Forever, and it's like ah.
Yeah, and then you can start hearing things at some point, and
I'm still convinced that that there's like this scratchy noise that is Beatles. Is how I interpret the sound, like Beatles,
or cockroaches, or whatever those little things are.
Like going.
Oh yeah, it's like this little crunchy.
Door.
Yeah, it's like, and we're like, what is that? And then you look down, and it's like, oh, it's cockroaches.
And actually, I want to detail a situation where these really screw you over in a brilliant way. Is that so? Sometimes you're gonna kind of need to like hide from things that are bumping in the night. And these like closets are the best way. You jump in and you close the door. Except obviously you can't see outside of it.
Yeah.
And these monsters usually don't make that much noise. So, but the background noises don't stop. So you generally really can't even tell if anything's out there or not. Like, is something out there, or am I just hearing stuff? And like, you really do get a sense of the complete like hopelessness, the complete uncertainty and disorientation.
Yeah.
There's no fancy camera tricks. It's just having like the background noises be equal or sometimes even more than the real noises going on. And your perception is screwed at that point.
Yep.
And no one has ever really like, I've never seen like so much experimentation in sound design in a video game. It's amazing what they've done.
Yeah, it's the sound engineering, I think, is one of the hugest points in this game that really like made it really good.
Because like, if you get down to like the graphics, I mean, like there is great atmosphere and everything, but like
they're
the
not
graphics
like,
aren't that special.
I mean, they're not special. I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
they're
no, I mean,
like,
they're not bad. They're
whoa, this is crazy good graphics.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm not sure if you've ever seen anything for Outlast. That was another horror game that came out recently.
No.
Like actually, like just this past month or 2 weeks. But the graphics in that game, for being quote unquote indie, are insanely good. Like, it's crazy, especially when they have like, because you have a camera and it's all like, it's like a night vision thing on it, and like they get like the filter or like the lighting from that being like the camera. It just makes it look so real. But anyways, that graphics aren't always an important part of a horror game. So,
but to illustrate that the game doesn't really rely on them that much, like for the kind of terror it's going after, because I'm several hours in. I am up to like the refinery for players of the game. And doing that, you know how much I've actually seen of anything? I've seen weird like blood like webs, which is terrifying. But of the actual monsters, I've seen like head to toe way off in the distance and kind of obscured some type of a stone statue, I think. That's all I've seen visually. And yet, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like, God, hit me, get over there!
Right.
Because of its sound design, because of its pacing, because we as gamers and as most consumers of media, like, you can apply this to film as well, we expect things to happen quickly. We expect the beginning to be like a big scare, and then a slow build-up. We expect to get really like engrossed in pandering with the violence. We expect for, especially with games, for there to be constant combat or constant action, constant urgency. And the lack of that does wonders. Like, again, like, it's I really wonder how somebody who doesn't really play video games would experience Amnesia, though, because I feel like so much of it is based on expectations of what we understand now, because there's no real urgency to Amnesia. And what I mean by that, like, obviously you're scared and you're trying to get out of this place, but like, there's nothing chasing you. There's nothing pushing you towards the next door. You're just silently exploring. There's almost never any music. It's just this silence and all these low frequency noise, and you're just wandering around. You don't even know if you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. You're just doing stuff because you don't have any clue, and there's no push to you.
Hence Amnesia.
Yeah, I know, obviously. But still, but it does it so well. There are games that incorporate Amnesia, and then there's games that really, are able to give you the experience of that without telling you.
Right.
This isn't even show and don't tell. There's no cutscenes, really. This is play, don't show. And it does it every game developer should play Amnesia and take some notes, for the love of God. Learn how to tell a story, give texture to your story, and flesh out the emotion and tone of your story through gameplay alone.
Yep.
Come on!
It's this should be simple. Yeah. I actually think you might have gotten more lucky than most have with this in terms of not actually seeing the monster yet.
Really?
Yeah. But just a little bit. Not oh, wow, you missed every single opportunity. Somehow you got around it. No,
I basically run away every time I see one of those things.
Yeah.
Or I'll run into a closet, or I'll just, stand still and let it move away. I have no interest in ever getting up close to these.
Right.
I'm sure I will, but...
Well, even then, usually people have an close-up experience at the point that you're at, I think. I mean, I don't remember as much of the game as I should, because it's been a long time since I've played any of it. Ironically, I've forgotten Amnesia. But I'm pretty sure, at some point at least, you've had to have had, a chasing of some sorts, because it does start chasing you eventually.
Well, I think there was one time when one came into a room when I just stayed in the closet for 10 minutes debating whether it was still out there or not. So
yeah, you'll know once it starts, if it finds you and starts chasing you, because you'll know. Even if you don't actually see it, you'll know. But
I don't look forward to that, but it's part of the game.
It's gonna happen eventually. If it doesn't, then you've missed out a
I'll
whole
be
good
happy.
portion.
I hope I miss it. I really don't want to meet that thing. It scares me.
And you haven't even seen it yet.
No, but it scares me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to get chased. I don't even really want to play the game. It physically ills me trying to get through the game. I really haven't had this since a good old Silent Hill game. I really haven't.
Yeah. That's good. And then there's Machine for Pigs, which is the next one.
Yes, which I also need to play.
I was told that it wasn't the same company, but I thought it was.
I have no idea. I've not done that much research.
I'll have to look that up. Somebody look that up.
So,
go on the internet and look it up for yourself. If it's Frictional Games who makes Machine for Pigs, then it's the same company. Otherwise, I have no idea.
So we both agree that Amnesia: The Dark Descent, we both agree, everyone else on the planet, it is in fact a great game and possibly a masterpiece of horror.
Sure, yeah.
So, we may not have had anything new to add to the discussion, but I'm late to the party, and that's I'm not going to let that stop me from talking about it. So...
Diva, please.
Gonna own it.
Gonna own it.
So, that is our show for this week. Next week, I guess, we haven't reviewed an album yet.
We should review an album.
So we'll review some form of an album.
To the YouTube, so we don't have to buy an album. What?
Oh, till next time, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.